Women, have you ever called out a princess syndrome? All of my housemates agreed to let our roommate's friend Kylie camp out in our spare room since we get to pay less rent. But then came the makeup stains on every surface, hair clogging all the drains, and at one point I found used fake eyelashes stuck to my bathroom mirror. She also had this awful habit of walking around in just a towel for hours after showering, and she'd never close the door when doing her skincare routine that took literally 2 hours. It got to the point where we bought her a robe and left it on her bed. Then we ended up having to remind her daily to wear it because we were sick of her accidentally dropping her towel in front of our boyfriends. I personally hated the girl for many reasons, but the worst was because one day she randomly decided my boyfriend preferred her to me. She kept trying to get him to drive her places when I wasn't home. She tried to get him to help her with heavy lifting while wearing the tiniest sports bra, which never worked out because he'd just call me to come help instead. When we had our weekly movie nights, she'd interrupt and insist we watch her reality show pics and would always try to sit between us. It was actually a bit funny when she would randomly try to prove she was more his type. She'd constantly bring up how she was naturally skinny, unlike girls who had to work out, clearly directed at me since I went to the gym daily. She'd ignore the fact that my boyfriend literally went with me to that gym. Finally, rent day came. I gathered our rent money together, dreading the conversation about Kylie's share. We usually pay $900 each for rent, but we told Kylie from the start she only had to pay $400 each month since she was supposedly between jobs and saving up. Of course, she only handed over $200. She said her parents were being super strict about money, and she'd pay us back once her modeling career took off. My roommate who was in charge of the bills said it would be fine and she'd cover for her until she could pay her back. I didn't hold my breath. It only got really bad the very next week. My roommate who handles the bills brought her new boyfriend over for the first time. He seemed nice and even brought pizza for all of us. Then in came the mess of a woman, wine drunk and wearing lingerie as loungewear, who saw the boyfriend and immediately started her performance. She was bending over to look for her phone charger right in front of him and asking if he could help her reach things on high shelves. My roommate didn't seem to care, so I stepped in and told her she needed to put on actual clothes. She shoved me and started screaming at me, going on a rant about how I was jealous because she was prettier and younger and how I was threatened by her natural beauty. She said I'd never understand what it was like being so beautiful that other women hated you and how hard it was when everyone assumed you were dumb. I looked this woman in the eye and told her she had no right to assume anyone was jealous of her, that she needed to stop the victim act because it did nothing but make her seem desperate for male attention. The boyfriend just grabbed his pizza and left. I tried to leave myself when Kylie physically blocked me and asked if I wanted to take this outside like trashy girls do. Kylie is actually trained in kickboxing and posts about it constantly. I turned to my roommate and told her to do something about this drunk mess because I wasn't anyone's babysitter here, and I would absolutely press charges if she touched me. My roommate talked to Kylie and she calmed down. 2 days later, I came home from work to find my entire makeup collection destroyed. Then I saw my laptop in my bedroom covered in nail polish. I was furious and checked the security camera we had in the hallway. I texted my roommates to ask what happened, and one texted back saying Kylie had been doing a makeup tutorial in my room because the lighting was better. The footage showed her accidentally knocking over nail polish directly onto my closed laptop. I had to replace the entire keyboard and lost a day of freelance work. I asked why she was even in my room. Kylie said she had assumed it was fine since we were like sisters, but it wasn't her fault I left expensive things lying around. I said my laptop was on my desk in my locked room that she somehow got into. She said maybe I deserved it for being so uptight about sharing. I lost it. I ran forward to grab her but was stopped by my 2 roommates who told her to go cool off. As soon as she left, I told them I wanted her gone. She was a manipulative brat who hadn't even paid rent, harassed the boyfriend, and now had destroyed my property. They agreed she needed to leave. We settled on her having until the end of the month to get out, and that she still owed us rent. My roommate in charge of the money offered to tell her. Only the next day, that same roommate asked for us all to gather because Kylie was going through a really hard time and her parents had cut her off. She wanted to let Kylie stay if she promised to be better. I told her absolutely not. She paused and said the entire situation was unfair to Kylie. I told her I absolutely agree. So not only will I only pay the agreed upon amount, but I will be deducting the cost of my laptop repair from my rent since you clearly want to help this girl with her financial issues so badly. I just got up and left. My other roommate shrugged, apologized again, and walked away too. When rent time came, I ended up paying him only the agreed upon amount, not minus the laptop cost, as I thought that was going too far. I wrote a note and taped it to Kylie's door that she had only 7 more days to leave or she'd find all her stuff on the curb outside. 3 days later, the girl finally left, but not before posting a TikTok about how she was bullied by jealous roommates that somehow got 10,000 views. None of us have interacted with one another since. We're all still mad at each other, and I don't know if that's ever going to change.